Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's question and answer session with me and Mr. Chris Palmer. Now, you'll be able to see me sat in my car. My wife's in the dentist. I had no option, so I'm doing it from the car today. So apologies for any noise interference or whatever. I'm sure it looks all right anyway. But yeah, so before we do the questions, do check out ODYS over above Chris's head there. If you're interested in age domains or done for you affiliate websites. And we already have people popping in. Randy Rodet, Jean Don, Simon, Richard Sachs from sunny Kissimmee, FL. I'm jealous. We're literally 7 degrees here in Glasgow today, which is horrendous. Holly Starks is here again. Good to see you, Holly. And it's Gary Charmer, the farmer, here as well. Gary is here. The second best FIFA player in the whole of Scotland. BB Burness from South Africa. That's a new name, BB Burness. There is another BB in the digital marketing game. BB Lowry Raven, but I hope that is not BB trolling, and I hope you really are from South Africa, because that'd be quite cool. And have to love the determination and keep the content pumping. Mate, what's going to happen is, even when they're putting me down in a coffin, I will still be fucking live streaming, shouting shit and all.
I'll be live. Really excited.
I will just pop up from the coffin. Wah! I'm still alive. So, but yeah, keep your questions coming, guys. We are here to do some quick fire questions. So rattle away with your questions. Sergio Picoxio, Chris, I love your black hat videos and CTR manipulation techniques. Hi, Craig, I appreciate your free SEO courses. They are a great resource. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan Durrani is here. We even have the SEO video show here. What a guy. And this guy produces the most awesome videos. Like, honestly, you've been on there, right, Chris?
Yeah, it's great. It's absolutely, it's great.
The production is fucking awesome. I've never seen anything like it, but
I got off thinking like, damn, I gotta up my game.
Yeah, you feel like a worthless piece of shit. Like watching that, and you're like, man, I've been churning out loads of videos, and I thought they looked really good until you see this. But man, check out the SEO video show. The videos, listen, the guests and the knowledge are also on point. You know, we've had Chris, we've had me, we've had many others on there, so it's a good place. But Sergio, Portugal is my favourite place in the world. Hope to get there soon. I always go to the Algarve. But we do have questions.
Are you using a
I'm
tablet? iPhone.
No, I'm on the iPhone, man. But I'll take a picture, or I'll get my wife to take it when she comes out to the dentist. I've literally got this. You know what that gorilla thing is that holds your phone?
Yeah.
Like the gorilla tripod thing. So I've got this gorilla tripod wrapped around the fucking steering wheel. Because I just couldn't be arsed holding the phone up for like an hour and a half. I don't have one of those in-car phone things. So, yeah, it looks pretty weird. That's my wife coming now, but I'll tell her to take a photo. It's funny. But back to Sergio from Portugal is asking, are there any recommendations on how to create good backlinks with a low budget? So money's tight, Chris. Chris is probably the best person because he doesn't like spending money. He's that type of guy. I know he's got stacks of it, but Chris, if your back's against the wall and you're on a low budget, how are you building links?
Well, at no matter what, you always have to allocate budget to some type of quality link, because I need somewhere to showcase to everyone to pass power through. I hope that made sense to you. I need to build something quality because that's what I'm showing Google. And then I'm just pumping that full of the cheapest PBN links I could possibly find. Automated tools sometimes. But no matter what, you have to put some money up front because I need to showcase good links to Google. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that helps you.
Yeah, there is no other real way to do it on a low budget. You've got to get something and give it some power. There's no free resource that's actually going to do anything for you, really. Sergio's also asking, how would you guys use Ahrefs to find good keywords for AdSense?
Well,
yeah, I'll let you answer that one, Chris.
Well, we wouldn't use Ahrefs. I would use SEMrush, right? But aside from that, I think it's going to be looking in your niche of the competitors and figuring out where they're getting their most value from. Like, where are they getting most of their traffic? And then this would convert over really good for you because it worked for all of them. So I would just bring it over to me. So I would look at the competitors in my space. Are they using AdSense? And if so, what's their most profitable pages, high traffic pages? This is what I would do.
Yeah, that is your best bet, Sergio. Jan is asking, Chris, did you test sending bot traffic to the CID URL?
I did multiple times. To no avail. I can get things to click with bots, but as far as actual movement, I'm not seeing it,
I'm also curious, Chris. I've got a question for you before we go on to any other questions. So you know how we had that thing going on the other day where you put up your CTR manipulation video on Sunday, then I done one, then Holly done one. What else were you doing there? Give us a tip, because your video stuck quite well for someone who didn't get that much traffic on it. You ain't just sending traffic to that. There's something else. What is the secret sauce?
I'm not telling. But if you take a look though, the secret's hiding in plain sight, because I'm not telling. Because you guys are always ripping me off. I'm not telling, dude. I'm not telling. I'll tell you later, though.
There is something though, right?
Well, absolutely. If we know that watch time is the metric.
Right. Cool.
Right.
I will speak to you after this. Just curious because obviously I found that kind of situation quite interesting, because obviously you've got the guys that are using Viper, we're using microworkers and other stuff, and you're obviously adding your own secret mix in. And yeah, I was just curious to see what you were doing, because yours seemed to have a quick impact that stuck the longest, whereas obviously if I hit it with stuff, I could get it up there, but it kind of drifts away again. So yeah, I just want to...
But you're murdering me on Black Hat still, if I remember correctly. Last time I checked, that video was still kicking. I'm in that video, so I was happy, but still, that thing was moving. That was still really high.
I think with that particular video, though, I think it's only a 7-minute video, and I think it's a mix of me, you, Holly, and various other people giving some tips away. And I think that video actually just does really well in general, because there is a few funky tricks in there or suggestions of tricks. So I think that video organically has
organic watch time.
Well. Yeah, which
100.
Is
that's the key.
The key to that one. But Sergio is back with another question. Finally, if you have a great product you would like to promote, how would you do that without running paid ads?
Well, we're an SEO channel. I mean, we're content marketing. So without running paid ads, I'm going to play along and start producing content based around those keywords. That's what I would do. I'm looking for a year payoff, So that's what I do, and that's what I would do. Content marketing.
I'm not sure what this says. I'm sure it's some form of spam, but yeah, if you're a spammer, fuck off. How do you do SEO for non-content websites? Would you even attempt it, Chris?
So when we're looking at websites, they're generally winning because of off, on, or combo, right? I heard somebody say that and I loved it, so I'm using it. But with that being said, if there's nothing on the site, we can still win by increasing, like, look at these tool websites. There's no content. They're ranking high, right? And if you go look at their profiles, they have a lot of links. So I think it depends on the niche, what's currently ranking there. And if you take a look and the SERP average is winning because of off page, then we know that that's our position. So there's definitely something there.
Interesting. Kazi Farhan, good to see you, man. We found WJ's little trick he was doing last night to try and keep ahead of you guys. Yeah, send it over, Holly. I want to know. It's always good to remain ahead. But for anyone who is looking at that thinking, oh, this guy's better or that guy's better, whoever spends the most time on this competition is literally going to win. I ain't spending any more time on it. I've done what I've had to do. Chris has done what he had to do. Holly's done what she had to do. And obviously William and anyone else who decides to join in on that CTR situation, you know, will probably come to the fore. I know Chase Rayner's talking about it and a few others, but it's
fun.
It is what it is. But Holly's asking you a question, Chris. When does your training start? I got in yesterday, but didn't see where it says. Yeah. So when's your training starting?
So.
Or coaching, whatever it is.
So you're okay. That's interesting. That sounds fun, actually. Oh, that's interesting. So on Thursday. So depending on which one you got, it's either going to start at 12 EST going till 3. If you're in the second one, then it'll go from 3 to 6 EST every single Thursday. And then whatever email you signed up for, I'll send you the meet link to that email.
Is this like a Zoom thing?
I do it on Meet because everybody uses Zoom. So I was like, I don't want to be like everyone else.
Is there a cost to enter in this, Chris?
Yes, I charge, I'm very fair. I think $100 per month for the first one, which we'll meet every single week, and then $55 and we'll meet bi-weekly on a monthly basis. Cool. Yeah, and it's group consulting, you know, so it's, what's your issue? How can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you? And if there's time, we'll go through training. Whatever my new training is, I want to teach it live to get feedback, really.
And where for people who are interested in such a service, where can they find this? What website are you running this from? Yeah,
so I'm still using Podia, but so it would be SEO.chrispalmer.com, and Chris Palmer's without the vowels.
Yes, check it out, people. I'm sure there's always something to be learned from the monster that is Chris Palmer, and I mean monster in a nice way. My gorilla monster though is falling down, so I just had to sort that there. But live RIL fan who is obsessed with Facebook, I can safely say that because it's all he talks about, with the greatest respect. It is to do with Chris having a 15-minute video, which means a higher average view duration or percentage. You're more likely to watch 15 minutes of jam-packed content instead of an entire hour. Do you get anything to say back to that, Chris? Is that part of your theory?
Yeah, I mean, you're on the track, but it didn't start off as a 15-minute video.
Interesting. A live RIL fan comes into a lot of these, and this guy has got some good ideas on YouTube. He's I like it, and he's watching everything. So keep doing that, live RIL fan. I like your attitude towards it. Satam, good to see you, man. Quality versus quantity backlinks when you have very low budget. So would you aim for quality or quantity?
I'd much rather have high quality than a bunch of quantity, you know.
I would agree. Even on a low budget, quality is always going to beat quantity. And I don't think quantity is a thing if you don't have a great budget anyway. So, you know, if it meant you buying one good link per month because that's all you could afford, I would take one good quality relevant link over 10 trashy links all day long. So quality always, Satam, no matter what, whether you've got a high budget or low budget. So Holly's actually saying, I actually like what WG is doing. It's a bit old school. I wouldn't do it. I don't have the time to. So Holly, I actually know what the guys are doing to stay ahead of the curve. It is very time consuming. And I'm not going to say what it is, obviously, live on air, because it's not fair to do that. But yeah, I know what they're doing. And personally, I have tried it, and it's quite hard to see how much success I had with it. I wouldn't say it was any more successful than what I'm currently doing. But it is old school, and it's obviously why me and the Viper dudes had a bit of a falling out, because I mentioned one little part of it, and he felt that I had stolen his thing, but obviously that wasn't the case. But yeah, I know what it is, Holly. So yeah. But if it is something, just send it over anyway. Still send it over, because I'm always curious, just in case. But yeah, I know what it is they do. Listen, the guy's doing something that's reasonably successful, and the videos are up there in the mix, so it all works. It's good stuff. Chase is going to do it all white hat, James Moore says. Man,
He's got the following.
Chase has got a following, so he probably could do it fairly white hat. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Chase has got a big following, and he's a
100
great guy in.
He'll get one in there if he wants it.
Yeah. Oh, easy peasy. So Milata, hopefully I've said that right. What tips for a good SEO strategy for a taxi website?
I think the same fundamentals apply to a plumber in Houston or a taxi driver in New York City as it would anywhere. I think that it's just the amount of budget and time allocation is going to be varying depending on competition. Strategies are the same, it's the same. It's just budget and time involvement is the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not much I think I can add to that. Yeah. Holly Starks is expecting gold from you, Chris. So you need to produce on Thursday.
Well, that's why it's based on the group. So maybe, hey, maybe you could spice up the group. Maybe you'll have a question like, hey, how about this? That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm sure having someone with Holly's experience is always going to pick good questions and keep you sharp and open up the conversation to the group. So,
well, Holly always interests me what she's doing, right? Like that was something that arose. Like, oh, what about these news websites? It's like it's I don't know. It's funny. Her she drives the black hat market. So
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I'm a big fan of Holly's and have
Hell
been
yeah.
for a number of years. So, listen, people will disagree and say, "Oh, black hat this, black hat that." I absolutely love Holly's approach to even something she said the other night. Like, she doesn't give a fuck about patents or fuck all. She just tries shit and blows shit up, and I quite like that approach. That's my type of person.
Fun, yeah.
Yeah. I like that shit. So, listen, massive fan of Holly's, and
the true definition of entrepreneur. She'll go all in on an idea, which is awesome.
Yeah, as I said to someone else before, like, I can't remember when I said it, but for someone to go to Vegas just to win a non-paid SEO competition shows you what you're dealing with. Fucking, that's commitment for you. So a massive respect has to go for that. But she knows that anyway. I've said that a million times. I love Holly and what she does. So yeah, I'm Team Holly. But Sergio, back with a question. What link building services do you recommend? You've got linksforyou.com, getmelinks.com. That I'll just say they two. There's tons of them out there. The thing is, with every good link vendor, they have specific inventory. and there's always someone else who's got something in a different country or a different niche or whatever. So what I'd also say to anyone who's looking for link building services, don't stick to the one guy. Buy from this guy, buy from that guy, buy from that guy, and open up new relationships, try new people, and get access to unique, different inventory. That is the key part, because if you're going to keep using the same inventory and it's someone's big web of PBNs or whatever it might be, regardless of whether they call them a blog post or not, then that's probably not ideal. So mix it up, mate. Try multiple people, but those two are probably the most prominent that I know of that have big lists and all that. So check them out. That was linksforyou.com and getmelinks.com. Try them out.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's considered a big list, in your opinion? Just your opinion. 1,000 sites.
There's guys out there with like fucking 10,000.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's outrageous because I don't know what other people have got. But you know, I talk to like some random Indian person. You know, when I'm talking about, you know, getting a guest post or whatever, and the person comes back with like this big fucking sheet with thousands on it. You're like, fuck.
I know.
So, and I'm like, just, you know, what ones have you got for this niche and what ones you got for that niche? But listen, people are sitting here on fucking thousands, man. Thousands that they can get on bang, bang, bang with good metrics. So them damn lists are bloody good, man. They're like, and nothing I've seen before. Yeah, the barrier's always going up though, Chris. You know, I think for anyone out there sitting with maybe 200 websites or something, you know, it's just not enough. You know, you look at someone that, even Holly again, and I don't want to keep blowing smoke up Holly's ass, but Holly's trying to achieve 5,000 news websites. Do you know what I mean? Fuck me. You know, that's just insane numbers. And I think Holly says she's churning out a website an hour or whatever. And she is, you know, I'm part of Holly's network. I've seen what's there. And it's just insane. I mean, I don't know what Holly's server costs are and stuff. And I think she's loosely said before she's got like 150 servers or some shit like that. I don't even know if that's the right number, but that is the level you're up against out there. There's people are monsters. They're all out fucking doing it. It's not, you know, gone are the days of guys with 50, I don't know, legal niche links or whatever, and thinking that's a big list. That's chicken feed for the other
chicken feed.
Man, it is. You know, you think you're the big I am, you know, you've got 100 websites, then you talk to some random guy and he's fucking blown you out the water.
I know. Like, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah, so, yeah, madness how people can steal that stuff. Suraj Kadam, what are some things to look for while prioritizing keywords to write content for aged website but has very low ranking? So what do you look for to prioritize? Is it keyword volume or something else, Chris? The keyword difficulty, something like that?
The first thing is in those top 4 positions, top 3 positions, do I even have a chance? You know, that's like the first thing I'm looking at once I, you know, but as far as prioritization, it's based on the leading competitors in the space, what's actually driving their traffic. This is going to give me my list of posts and silos that I should be creating. And then based on that, I mean, I'm only cherry picking whatever's working for the other guys. That's always my strategy. And I'll get the guys and they'll be like, what about this? What about this? Well, these 20 guys here are winning for these hundreds of keywords. So let's focus on this first. So that's what I do. That's what I'm looking for. You know, what's winning? How can I model it? That's it.
Yeah. That's a sensible strategy. One thing I want to pick you a little bit more apart on that though.
Sure.
So say the top guys are winning and it's all, you know, 10,000 searches a month and all that. Does that phase you at all, or do you not give a shit? Are you just like, fuck it, that's the top 10, let's attack them? Or do you look and go, the top 10 are not achievable, let's go for something a bit easier?
Well, what I've found is if they're winning on these big headline terms where they're 10,000, 20,000, 70,000 or whatnot, they're bringing in all these secondary terms, which are bringing in 2 or 3% of their overall traffic. So I might not target those big 10K, but all those other secondary, all the other words, any other phrases, that's what I'm looking at.
I've also one last question. I said 10,000 there is a random figure for keyword volume. Have you ever seen a keyword? Have you ever noticed that on these tools, it's always like 9,900 or something? I've never seen a fucking set 10,000, have you? It's always some shitty ass weird number. Like when you do keyword research, have you seen a 10,000, a round figure?
I don't, maybe, I don't know. That's an interesting statement. It's always, I don't know. I'm gonna have to, maybe, I'm sure I have, but I don't know.
Just when I was saying 10,000, I'm like,
have I ever even seen 10?
Fucking 10,000, yeah. It's always just some weird ass number for me, but yeah, never mind. I think shorts would do very well. They seem to be rocking it. So I've been trying shorts out in the last week, and they are rocking it. I am basically I have battered out so many videos over the last year that are an hour long. Shows like this one, shows with Mike and Brad and podcasts and all that. So my video editor is literally just going through and chopping up lots of stuff and just launching shorts. And man, it's doing all right. I've got to admit, it's doing all right.
And the rev on them is sick. So that tells me Google's pumping them. So I'll have less views, but I'll look at the value and I'm like, wait a minute. So that means they love them. You know what I mean? When I see that, I'm like, whoa, the CPM on this is crazy.
So I reckon I could literally make shorts out of all the videos I've made in the last year and probably have enough shorts for the next fucking 2 years. So that is something I'm going to hammer out in a much more aggressive way. Yeah, got to try it out. But anyway, Sergio Picoxio. Anyway, do you think syndication networks are still worth it?
They're not part of my strategy. I know there's guys that love them and stand by them and stuff. But it's not part of my strategy.
I'm not a huge. I mess around with IFTTT and stuff like that. I do play around with it, but it's not something that I'm heavily involved in. I'm probably similar to you. I think Holly was asking Mike Pierce yesterday a bit about that kind of stuff, and yeah, everyone's different, but it's not an overall part of mine either. I'm pretty similar to Chris. CBD Flowers UK has a question for my wife. Are you a fan of SEO? She just laughed. She doesn't like that chat at all. So she is sat there now after the dentist. She's shy, but yeah.
There's 2,000 people. Hey.
But nah, listen. My wife has worked since what 2013. 2013, my wife has worked with me. She's not an SEO. She's more done reports and doing admin things and all that. But yeah, she knows enough about it. But it's not a conversation that we have a lot on. She hears me babbling away in the house talking about doing all these shows with Chris Palmer and all that shit. And yeah, it's I think she's probably sick to death of hearing of it, but I'm pretty sure most people's wives are the same. But yeah, she works in this industry kinda for me, so she kinda enjoys it a wee bit. But anyway, I don't want to reveal it, but does it have? So this is back to your strategy, Chris. I don't want to reveal it, but does it have something to do with the original live stream, Chris?
Of course, 100%.
Enough questions on that live RIL fan, because I don't want people knowing what this is.
I mean, it was a competition, so
Scott Latham here. Evening, gentlemen or gentlemen. Good to see you, mate. I think I've not seen you for a few weeks, Scott. Craig Mullins is asking, do people search Google for taxis?
I think they'll go to the map pack, maybe.
Yeah, I just go to Uber, to be honest. But I'm sure people do. Like, if I'm in an area that I'm not familiar with, I do have to Google the local taxi number. So there's got to be an element of that involved. So I think it would work. Stephen Stewart, if I wanted to join an affiliate program in the USA, but only accept USA addresses, should I make one up? Of course, Stephen. Come on. A few lies in this industry. If that's all they're accepting, I would be.
I'm in the USA, baby.
Yeah. I'm in the US, yeah. I'll even put on some shady US accent and forward a dodgy US Twilio number if they want to call me up. And
Craig has 97 addresses in the US.
Listen, fake it till you make it, Stephen. Just make shit up. I'm pretty sure, Chris Palmer, you faked a lot of stuff and probably still do to this day. Little things like addresses and shit, surely. Well, I know you do. That's just fucking, yeah. Just do it, Stephen. Fuck it. If that's the only way in, do it. USA is where the money is at, mate. That is all I'm going to say. Fuck the UK. Well, the UK's all right, but monetary wise, I actually asked you, Chris, before, didn't I? Did I not say to you, do you even focus in the UK market? I've asked a few American guys, they're like, nah, what's the point? So, it's madness to.
I've bought in a couple domains that are over there now, but it's not a focus, no. I do have two that are sitting over there, though.
Interesting. But, Holly, back to this. I've got 2K now for news websites. It's super time-consuming, to say the least. So, she's up to 2K, aiming for 5, or that was the last figure I heard anyway. So, keep going, Holly. You're doing a grand job. Check out Holly's network of news websites. They are all good people. Richard Sachs. Why does Google My Business keep deleting my services under certified public accountant as the primary category? Any reasons for that?
Well, was that did you switch it from something else? And does your website say that? But have you been changing it? It is a curiosity. Also, if you're looking for other competitors that are near you, is that their primary? I'm just curious of these couple of things. Have you been changing it? Are the other guys using that primary category, and are you mentioning that on the actual website? I'm just curious.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the best way to look at it. I was going to ask, are you a certified public accountant? And I know that may seem a strange question, but I'm not sure if they are comparing that to some database where they are checking that and just deleting people who don't or not on that register or whatever. I'm not sure, but if it could be something like that. But do what Chris says, or what Chris suggests first and foremost, and answer that and let us know. Mr. Craig Mullins, any good pages on using regular expressions in Google Search Console?
I don't do it. I don't even know what a regular expression is.
I was going to say I have no clue what that fucking means as well.
Yeah.
I was going to, I explain that in more detail, Craig. I'm maybe not grasping what you're trying to achieve here. Let us know more and we'll try and answer it, man. Neil Thacker, Craig, if you for some reason moved away from Glasgow to a different service area, would you bother re-editing all your old NAP citations, etc., or just build new ones on top? I think it's obviously too much hard work. Here's how I would approach it. So if I had an office in Glasgow, for example, and I moved to Manchester, I'm just going to make the new Manchester office a secondary location for me and send citations to that and just take advantage. I've still got an office in an area just outside. I had an office on the outskirts of Glasgow before, and I left that office 5 years ago. The GMB still the exact same address and everything else, because I can have more than one office, within that area, and I can take up more of the landscape. So I definitely wouldn't re-edit or anything. I would keep myself to myself and just not see anything, and build another one and build fresh citations to the new address if you are moving on. So that's how I would tackle that. Neil, anything you can add to that, Chris?
There's nothing that's 100%. And if it's the same exact business name, same exact everything, but a new address, Google champions new, fresh anyway. So I would just build on top.
Mr. Chase Rayner, $4.99. Thank you very much, Chase. We were talking about you earlier, saying that you're actually a decent guy and all that stuff. So we were bigging you up. But thank you very much for your donation, as always. Do check out Chase Rayner. Great guy, very good marketer. And yeah, he's got a good YouTube channel going on there. So always worth listening to. Do not believe the hype that people say, oh, he does this and does that. He knows what he's doing all right. And you have to read in between the lines. He does a lot of stuff for a reaction sometimes, and there's always a reason behind what people do. Just bear that in mind. So check out, great guy. Got a lot of time for Chase. Anyway, back to it. Paul Clark, is it better to buy an age domain from an auction so that it will have traffic data recently, or can I get one off a domain seller which is aged but has no recent traffic or data? Since most are parked, what would your option be here, Chris? Do you want current traffic or recent traffic or not?
Ideally, I want one that has recent and current traffic. If it's parked and it's just if it's dead, it's dead. You know, I want it to have current and I want it to have fresh traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the way you've got to look at this, Paul, just another angle. If you've seen a car, for two cars for sale, both identical. One had been lying, it had no fuel in it for a year or two, had nothing, you know, the tyres hadn't had air in it and all that kind of stuff, or one did. What would you rather use? You know, the one that's been going and moving, of course you're just going to be able to go and turn the key and shoot off, where there's always going to be a stuttery start and stuff, you know, with one that didn't have traffic, that's not had fuel, it's not there in the tyres, it's just not had a, you know, it's just not been running efficiently. It's had no rankings. So that's the way I look at it. You know, I want something that has been moving and has been well oiled, so to speak. So that's just the way I look at it. So sorry for the car comparison, but that is kind of the way I look at it. Holly Starks, I think we should talk with Paul Hogden about the UK conference. Maybe we can do a contest for 2 months before the meetup and have the winner announced. Pretty sure we can arrange that, no problem at all. Paul likes a competition, and if it adds a bit of spice to it, Holly, I'm always up for a competition. So Paul, if you're listening, or he will listen at some point, we want a competition. And since you guys are traveling for this conference, you make up the competition. You guys come up with what the competition is, and let's do it. Could be fun. I'm always game.
I'll watch.
Probably
competition means allocating budget to something that doesn't bring back.
Sometimes you just got to flex on muscles and show people you've got a bit. So I'm a bit like Holly. Sometimes I do weird shit and waste money on things just for a laugh. But there you go. Live RIL fan. He's saying, by the way, the only way to beat Chris using the same methods Chris is using, whatever it was, is to upload a higher quality version. 4K video always wins.
It's not true.
Is that true, Chris?
No.
I would say I beat Chris with something that wasn't a 4K video.
No,
so
higher.
I'm not having that theory, man.
Why would hosting a larger file that's harder? No.
It could be, but I just don't believe that to be true. But yeah,
in some SERPs it might look that way, but I don't feel that that's the deciding factor. You know.
Interesting, but Chris could be throwing us off target here. You may have said his trick, and he's thrown us off the scent. So it's worth testing. Anyone watching? BB Burness, Holly, it's been 2 weeks. We're going into withdrawals. When's the next AMA? Holly, I'm pretty sure Holly was on last night. I'm pretty sure I watched her. She was on Sunday as well. So I don't even know, the Monday, whatever. I don't even know what day it was we were all on. Anyway, live RIO fan. Oh yeah, you've said we've done that one. Theo is asking, how can I rank first for organic but also local simultaneously? Chris, what is your best tip for that?
So, okay. So you have a local website and you want to rank organically for local. So these are geo-modified keywords. And then I also want to be able to rank for keywords that don't have geo-modification, that are non-local keywords. I'm creating pages that are geo-modified and local-based, and I'm creating pages that are, long-tail keywords or whatever else. There's local websites that are plumbers that rank for how to fix a wrench. You get what I'm saying here? So that's it's just content.
Yeah, it's two different things though, Theo. That's what you need to see. The GMB is not the same as ranking organically. You need
is that
a
what he
landing
meant,
page.
GMB?
I think so. So I think he's talking about obviously ranking well on the GMB, which is your citations, blah 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 blah, and also ranking well for like plumbers. I don't know, plumbers London. He wants to rank in GMB, but he also wants position 1 organically. Which,
I was thinking of something totally different.
So I think that's what he means, but because I know this guy Theo personally, he was messaging me earlier on, so I think that's what he's going to be angling at. So what would you say to that then? How would you answer that?
Yeah, so much like when I'm creating a page, the details that I'm showing the user are the same things that I want to show Google, right? So title tags, H1s. Now it's the same for GMB. So I want to make sure what I'm showcasing on my GMB, right? My description, my business, where I'm at, my locale, my phone number, all those details are transferring over here. That's like the step 1. And then all of the elements that Craig just said. So the off page, and then the final touch is how am I generating more clicks and more traffic over to that asset? Because Google, they're not showing us on overall, but it will say, hey, your photos got 120 more views than your competitors, right? And then you go and look and you're like, oh man, my photos for these key phrases are ranking above them. Why? Because they're getting the clicks and the traffic. So they're not giving us those details on all the other stuff, but we know that that's their true metric. Why? Because they're telling us with the images is one that stands out. So I'm just clicks and traffic, citations, the off page, and then make sure it's actually what I say here is what it is here. Mirror it.
Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question, Theo. Pritam is asking, what is the best PBN hosting provider? Can you find one?
This is my humble opinion. If they're promoting and pumping, and that's their headline, the best PBN provider, then I'm going to look somewhere else. Now, there is bulk hosting providers out there that are doing a very good job. They're not promoting PBN, so that's what I'd be looking for. I'm looking for bulk hosting. There's a lot of guys that are using HostGator. They're using all of the different hosting, all different types of name servers, all different, everything you're looking for. So that's what I'd be looking for. If they're broadcasting PBN, I'm going to walk away, in my opinion.
I think that's a great way to look at it, Chris. And I've never thought about it that much myself that way. I have always used different hosting providers. And yeah, people that advertise it I've always found to be absolute trash. So stay away from the best PBN hosting provider. Hosting is hosting for a website. You can get that anywhere. There are I'm not sure about millions, but there's literally tons of hosting companies out there. So try them all out and see which one works best for you. Gizmo plans. Is it best practice to have your blog post focus key phrase match the URL as well as match the page title? Example, best bike for kids. The URL is best bike for kids. Page title, 9 best bikes for kids. Is that how you would work it?
So ideally, depending on length, my URL, my title, my H1, there might be a variation, but they're saying the same thing. There might be a variation there, but the title and H1 are going to be identical. So yeah.
What I would ask, Chris, and I'm going to dig a bit deeper into this one just for your opinion on it, and then I'll give mine. Is there any need for this 9 best bikes? Is that number 9 doing anything at all? Because you see people saying the best 7, the best 6, the best 5, whatever. Is that part important?
I don't think in the URL.
No, but at all in the page title or anything.
Well, if the SERP's calling for that, if that's part of, if I'm looking at the SERP and everybody's doing a number, then I want to throw a number in there. Like if I see it's 5 best, 2 best, 3
best bikes, yeah. But just say the example is best bikes for kids. Why throw the number 9 in there or 6 or 5? Like even if the competitors were doing like the top 9 bikes, is that important, or is dropping the cookie more important? What is is this 9? I've just never understood it. When I've been analysing, affiliate websites, whatever, where the fuck did he get this number from? Like, why 9? Why the best 9? Why not the best 3 or the best 5? Like, you're just cookie dropping here. Like, it's like, this is madness. Unless you're trying to pad out content because you do a POP and you check out that for the best bikes, everyone's get 3,000 words. Then of course you might do the top 9 or the top 10 or whatever. But why 9? Why not 10? Do you know what I mean? I've just never understood that.
Yeah, I just based off. My question though arises this: do you only, when you recommend, do you only drop the cookie on the click, or as soon as they land on the site?
Oh, as soon as they land on the website. Well, you're supposed to do it on the click, but
right. I know. I just talked to somebody and I'm like, I'm looking and I'm like, wait, you're only when I click? I'm like, this isn't what I've seen. This was foreign to me. I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, if you're doing it, so it depends on what way you want to word that question. The legitimate way, of course, is on the click. When someone clicks to go to Amazon, for example, buy now or whatever, that's supposed to be when the cookie's dropped. But how other people do it is a different story. But then you run the risk of, potential things. And I'm sure if you talk to any affiliate manager, actually, I was on a panel discussion with people, and one of the people was an ex-hotel affiliate person, and and I went, you must have seen some shady shit. So we were talking about just the ways that people drop cookies and the scams that come up. And she basically said you need to have eyeballs in the back of your head to see what's going on with some of the monsters that are out there. And I was trying to dig deep to see if there was anything I was missing, and she did give me a few tips. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that, though. Gizmo plans, I don't want to give too much away and fuck things up for anyone else. Or whatever.
Accept their cookie policy and then go check.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe Holly Starks can talk about some shit like that or something on her channel. But yeah, need to be careful, man. I don't want fucking affiliates coming at me saying, you bastard, you've said this and got us all fucked. But yeah, get live RIL fan or even Gizmo, get Chris to talk about this in his fucking training on Thursday. Go in there and start pinning him on this stuff. He can be the bad man that discloses it all. Keon White, how effective is SEO Autopilot or Ranker X?
I think there's a place for automation tools depending on any campaign. So regardless of the tool, I think there's a place for them, regardless of whatever your flavor of the week is.
Yeah, there's a place for everything, including blog comments and all that kind of stuff in this industry as well. So it's how you do them, when you use them, what you're using to power things up with and all that. To be honest, I like SEO Autopilot. Ranker X, I'm aware of it. I know a lot of people will talk highly of it. I've just never been a huge fan of the interface, and I find it a bit clunkier to use. But that doesn't mean it doesn't do its job. So SEO Autopilot's my favourite, and I don't think that is a surprise to anyone.
I'm so sorry. He just started to tweak on it, but I was curious to Holly, has she tried Zenposter's Android automation? I'm just curious
Have you tried that, Holly?
Before I start dabbling with it. I'm just curious. Is it junk or?
Yeah, let us know, Holly. Paul Hogden, good evening. Holly wants to start a competition 2 months prior to SEOunderground.co.uk. So anyone out there, we are hosting an event in the UK on the 14th of October, I think it is. www.seounderground.co.uk. Tickets, early bird tickets are available just now. Chris Palmer's going to be there. Holly Starks is going to be there. I'm going to be there. We're going to have Peter van de Graaf there. He's already said yes, who is one of the biggest black hat monsters I've ever come across. And I know Peter watches you, Chris, and I know he loves Holly because he private messages me. He used to be like a dirty black hat like years ago. He used to speak at all the conferences, and he's laying low for the past few years because he built up an agency and stuff. But he's coming back on the scene. But he is a proper. That's the guy that had the Bukaki story and all that. I've had him on my podcast. This guy has no morals, no nothing. He is an absolute black hat monster. He is like the devil. He doesn't care who he tramples on. So he will be great at that conference. So guys, check out SEO Underground is what I'm trying to say. Mark Rose is saying Rejects was just announced today for Google Search Console. What do you think about that, Chris?
I'm so I don't know. I don't really. I didn't know. I don't know. Thank you.
Check my comment, Paul Hogden. So we have some time left. So
lightning round.
So we're going to go quick fire. So Richard Sachs, though, before this, he changed it from accounting firm to certified public accountant. Most of our competitors use certified public accountants, but it seems to be okay with accounting firm. So when he's changing it from accounting firm to certified public accountant, it is ballsing up.
Yeah. So if you've tried everything else and you're running a legitimate shop, then in the left-hand side there's a support. Get them on video. Keep dinging them. Get them on video. Explain them. Tell them if you have the credentials and this keeps changing. This is what I am, but it keeps changing me back. I need your help. Yeah. Period. I mean, that's go right to them. Especially if you're running legitimate shop.
Yeah, for sure. Paul Hogdens likes Holly's suggestion. Good to see you, Ashton. Would be fun to see everyone's approach. Honey's asking, should I buy a domain with good authority with Moz high spam score for PBN? I wouldn't buy anything with a high spam score.
Really?
Or would you, Chris?
I wouldn't just bounce it off of one. I would look at all the tools and see if this is a conglomerate answer. I wouldn't just base off one tool is what I'm getting at, especially if I'm going to allocate budget towards something. I want to make sure. So I'd look at all of them and really analyze those links and see what are they? Because Moz, I think they're using is outbound. If a site has a whole boatload of outbound links, that'll attribute to the spam score. So, I'm just saying. I know that's
you have to look a bit further. I wouldn't guess. I wouldn't base it on any of these metrics. What they say is spam is, and send rush and everything else. Even when you're disavowing links, it's not necessarily spam. You do have to manually check it. But Old PC Games is asking, how can I increase the relevancy of a backlink like a guest post?
Increase the relevancy of a backlink. Well, the initiating post of where it is, what's the title of that page? What's the URL of that page? What's the H1 of that page? What's the text of that page? What's the text around it? And what's the anchor text? If all of that's relevant to the page it's pointing to, then I have a relevant link.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good answer. You guys are the best. OSI. Property stacking work. Those properties don't get indexed. Some people charge ridiculous amount to make them semantic mastery. Cough, cough.
So I think this is often, just because something's not in search results doesn't mean it's not in the index. Aside from that, I don't know. I think they have a place. I think they're great for a hub, and I think they're good for buffering. And a lot of those assets do end up in the search results. So that's it.
Cool. Mark Rollstein, Bright Local is good for seeing a fuller picture of your GMB for anyone that's wanting to check out your live in the car, getting creative. So my wife was in the dentist and they couldn't avoid going to the dentist, so obviously it's important. So yeah, but I'm not giving up my lives, right? Dentist, I will be fucking here. Anyway, Live RL fan is talking about that.
He's on that.
Uploads a 720p version and Craig uploads a 4K version. Both run 100 views with the same retention engagement. Craig will rank higher. Potentially that could be a thing.
Channel authority plays a part too.
Yeah,
he would.
I think that's the thing that a lot of people, that are competing for the likes of stuff. You're not taking channel authority into account or whatever that weight score is you get on the likes of vidIQ and whatever, they take into consideration. So.
Oh, you're breaking up bad, Craig. You made it to the end, though.
Getting to the end, yeah. Anyway, Question for you, Chris.
Sure. Is it
to
ideal
create a buffer site
as
a Web 2.0 or PBN?
This comes back to budget. So, I mean, I think the best case scenario is an asset or a website that is completely mine, that I control, that, that's the best. This, I guess, of equal or varying degrees is going to be a Web 2.0. And then third is going to be utilizing either a high quality guest post, something of high quality, if it's going to be a buffer, in order to pass power through on the cheaper end. So ideally, I want it to be an asset that I control, that's a website that I control, that has 2,000 plus referring domains or whatever the case is, that's highly relevant, that's getting traffic, that I'm consistently posting on. That's the best case. The next best case is I'm getting a guest post that's very high authoritative, high quality, that I can pass power through. The next best is going to be the Web 2. It all depends on budget. Hopefully that helps you.
Another question from Connected Watches. How effective is putting on schema, and what is the best schema to put on your blogs?
So for me, if I'm competing in a SERP, I just talked with a guy about this. If I'm competing in a SERP and I run a check, one of the reasons why I truly love Pop is because it's doing this for me, so I don't have to look at all the sites. It's just going to do it for me. It'll give me the list. All of your competitors are using these, and they have 20 different ones, and I don't. If the SERP is calling for that, then I want to make sure I have that and maybe some other elements marked up. So I just think it's part of the process now, in my opinion. Like, I need to tweak the on, the off, schema, traffic.
Yeah, makes sense. Holly Starks, for the person that was asking about SEO Autopilot or RankerX, Holly Starks is recommending RankerX all day long.
No comment on the Zenipost or Android, huh? It must be a good one.
I think she has commented after that.
Okay.
But we will see. Theo is asking, is a contact form on a footer good or bad practice?
Contact form in the footer. It's a page. It's a contact page. Why not? For me, why not? It's another page on your website. What's the difference?
Yeah.
All the big guys do it. Why can't you?
What
do you think, Craig?
I wouldn't bother putting it in my footer. Just in terms of, I'm not a fan of like people don't always scroll to the bottom of a website, so I would use something that would, pop up in the middle of a screen or whatever, rather than a footer, a form or capturing someone's data. So I'm playing around with different stuff that just pops up, not necessarily the footer, but at the bottom of the screen when they're ready to leave my website. So so I'm not a huge fan of the footer. A form in the footer, nah.
Oh,
I
the
think it's
actual
too low
form.
down.
I was
Yeah.
thinking like the contact link you click takes you to the contact page. The actual form, I like to keep that up at the top. If that's my main conversion, I want it up at the top. Or
Yeah,
like you said,
exit pop-up or whatever. I think there are better uses of that to capture data. Definitely not having a form on the footer. I don't think it will harm you in any way, but it's just in a shitty position, and people are less likely to fill it in. But anyway, Holly said she does use Zeno Poster Auto. It is super great. The learning curve though could make you drink. So I've heard that. The learning curve on there is a pain in the ass. Bring on the dirty black hats for SEO Underground. For what are the best ways to learn SEO? Is it paid courses on Black Hat World or YouTube? Where is the best place to learn, Chris? Yeah, other than my free SEO course and my YouTube channel, where is the other best places?
So, and I like that you said that. I think that any content that I can go and create and ideas that is out there, but there's no better place to learn than get a site, launch it, and then anything. Like, oh, this guy over here says that these massive posts are good. Oh, well, let's go see, or whatever it is. So get all the content you possibly can, all the knowledge you possibly can, and then just implement it. So if you want to get a training or a program, get whatever one. Just pick a guy, go through their stuff, and then start implementing and practicing. And what you'll find is you'll start picking up your own. You'll get your own techniques going. You'll find little tweaks that you can do. You'll just start doing it. You'll see.
Yeah. Don't stick to the one person though. Do look around. And Holly starts the saying rejects is that eggs rubber thing. Pretty old school in her opinion. Also, guys, Paul's right. I do have a £50 off the early bird price. Paul, can you remind me what that is for SEO Underground? I think it's just my name. But yeah, you can get, if you want, you can message me and I can get you that £50 off if you message me on Facebook, guys. Mark Rose is laughing. And someone else said, yes, changing categories on your GMB deletes your services. Can YouTube, so we've got literally, well, I'll try and, we're 4 minutes past 6, so we'll try and beast through a couple of quick ones. Can YouTube detect auto-tasker macro apps on Android? I know it's used for phone farming, but not sure if Google and YouTube can detect it. Chris, that's a question for you. You like all that stuff.
I do think that they could, depending on what you're using or what you're using in between in order to mask this type of activity. So could they? Sure, of course they can. But I think that there's other ways to be able to bypass that and to be able to show whatever I want. Yeah. And YouTube, I don't know what they're doing. I have no clue.
Paul Hogden has just come back. The discount code for SEO Underground to get £50 extra off the early bird price is Craig Campbell 50. So if you're interested, do go and sign up, guys. Get the early bird price. But we do pretty much, we could go on all day. There's still questions here that are coming. How long does it take for an article to get ranked in your experience? It can take a day, it can take a week, even 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on your website. Do not worry about how long it takes. Worry about just doing more articles. Also, you ask, what would you do if your site's been negative SEO'd, attacked by spam backlinks? I wouldn't worry about it too much because Google can kind of detect that. I personally, for peace of mind, would disavow them, but other people will say don't bother. they don't really do that much harm. Someone's literally been slamming my website with $1 million a month, and it's not been doing anything. So yeah, up there's. But guys, we are out of time. It is 6 minutes past 6. So we won't do any more questions. Sorry we didn't get through to everyone. Also, one last question, actually, Chris. Did you release your software last week?
I want to be able to take everybody in. I have it. I have the first part just to see, the demo. I'm not ready to sell it yet, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to share it yet. Yeah.
I've been pestering him offline for it as well, but yeah, he's not
it's 100% coming though.
Last one, Richard Sachs. Great year for Glasgow Rangers and your team, Manchester City. Looks like you've got it. And love watching Chris's classes on YouTube. So thank you very much for that, Richard. But everyone, thank you very much for your questions. Please do subscribe to the channel. Do check out Chris Palmer SEO on YouTube as well, and do check out ODYS if you want £100 bonus for signing up to check out what age domains they've got. But yeah, I am done because I'm sitting in a car. My wife's growling at me now. But we will see you the same time next week. And yeah, do check out Chris's classes, tuition, training, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's coming out on Thursday, so make sure you do check out Chris and even sign up to that and get yourself involved. But until next week, guys, I will see you guys later. And thank you again to yourself, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you, Craig. Everyone have a great day. Bye-bye.
What's up, man?